Welcome to Stop My Crisis. I'm your host, Vivian Gaspar, and we're very fortunate to have with us here Allison Shreeves, all the way from Sydney, Australia. So Allison does things so unique, I want to make sure she could share it with all of you. And she is a 4-time world champion windsurfer turned entrepreneur who helps people, over tens of thousands of her clients, turn their passions into their businesses, many of which made them multi-million-dollar businesses. Welcome, Allison. Thank you so much for coming all the way here from Sydney.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a privilege, and I have actually done an all-night flight to be here, so
yes.
Hopefully I can make it through the interview.
And you did fabulous.
Thank
you
you.
Look amazing. This is, I guess, what the beautiful wind and windsurfing did for you your whole life.
Oh, you know, it was funny, even in my sporting days, we would have to travel, get off a plane and compete, and then, you know, I think one year I did something like 4 world titles within 6 weeks in 4 different time zones and continents. So I'm kind of used to traveling and getting off a plane and performing.
Wow, I think I should also re-nickname you the Queen of Resilience.
Well, I don't know, maybe.
Because I think that makes you enormously resilient. If you could take all-night flights and wake up looking as fresh and gorgeous as you do now.
Makeup does wonders.
Oh, you really didn't need so much. But I really love that you took your passion of windsurfing and discovered that you can, turn it into other passions. And people know you always make the most money and have the most success when you're helping others,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So I really wanted to know, how did you do that kind of a transition from being such an athlete and competitor in something as not as common everyday sport as windsurfing? I mean, let's face it, that is pretty unique, especially for Americans, to something where you actually have helped tens of thousands of people to not have to do their jobs, or if they've been business owners previously, to turn another business into something where they could work anywhere, and they're using the miracle of the internet. And obviously we've heard about this.
Yes.
So I've always wanted to know, how do you actually do it? How do you really do the online miracle business, especially something that involves residual income? That's the key.
Okay, so there's 2 questions there. So the first question is how did I get into it?
Yes.
Well, I lived my passion for 16 years. So when I stopped my sport, I had actually lost my 4th Olympic trial to the same girl. So I was actually really devastated. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? And 1 week after my last Olympic trials, they kicked windsurfing out of the Olympics. So then it felt like I was training for 16 years for something that then didn't even exist anymore. So I was sort of in a way forced to make a change, because I thought, well, what's a 5th world title going to give me that 4 hasn't already? I need to do something different. And I started developing myself as a coach, a leadership coach. And very quickly I realized that I had a new passion. And that was to help people build businesses out of their passions, because I lived my passion for 16 years, but I never made any money out of it. In fact, at the end of my windsurfing career, I was $37,000 in debt. I had to move home with my parents. I was single, broke, and what do I do, right? And I'm sure there's people out there that have kind of experienced something like that, where you have to start again. And so I decided that my new mission was to champion the cause within you, or whoever I get to work with, and whatever they're meant to be doing on the planet. If I could help them achieve that, then that's fulfilling for me. And so I started as a coach, and I realized really quickly that if people were taking action and quitting their job and starting a business or whatever it is that they were doing, if they couldn't make sales online or make sales in any way, they wouldn't be able to cash flow it, and therefore they wouldn't survive as a business or even be able to pay me. So that's how I developed into helping people make money online, and I started developing courses and programs to help get businesses online and then onwards into residual income.
So you were an athlete for
Yes.
over 16 years.
Yes.
What type of coach did you start out as initially? And you'd think someone transitioning from being an athlete to a coach,
Yes.
what do you go into first? What's your very first step?
Well, my first, leadership coach said to me, what are you most passionate about? And I kind of looked at my body, and at that time I was pretty fit. And I said, well, I guess I'm pretty passionate about health. And he goes, good, you're a health coach, go. And I went, what? don't know anything about, coaching health, and I know how to be fit because I knew how to do that. And he goes, doesn't matter. You need to go make sales. He taught me how to sell. He gave me a few selling questions, and he goes, this is how you sell. Go get some sales and go make some money.
So basically, this coach of yours, he did what a lot of people do to teach people to swim. He just pushed you off in the deep end and said, do it.
Totally. He just said, don't worry about the details because I'm a details person. And he goes, just get out there and make some sales. But here's what I realized really quickly. I started making sales to help people get healthy. And I'm an action taker, and I would help them take action. And so I helped them get results really quick. And so two guys quit smoking, and another two lost 10 kilos. But once they got healthy, they stopped paying me because they got healthy. So I thought, well, that's not good.
So then you're always getting new clients.
So I'm always getting new clients, and that's not residual income either. And so I realized actually I could help people so much more than just their health. I was the top of my industry for 10 years. Why couldn't I help people be successful in their life and career? And that's when I made the switch.
So people talk about residual income, but so few people, I think, realize it to themselves.
Yes.
Can you please give some examples of what type of industries actually give people residual income? Now, I know I've heard of insurance sales doing that. Every time you pay your monthly policy premium, the salesperson gets their residual income.
That's right.
What other business can do that for someone?
Great question. It's interesting. People just think because there's monthly revenue coming in, it's residual. For instance, if you sold a gym membership, normally you would get monthly residual income. But how many people do you know have stopped paying for gym memberships?
Many. Because they just give up.
Because they give up, or they're like, oh, I'm paying for this thing and I bought it a year ago and I never go to the gym, right? So recurring income is different to residual income.
What is the difference?
Right? So recurring income means, well, yes, it comes in monthly or however it comes in fortnightly or whatever. But residual means it continues. So you make the sale once and they basically pay for life. So like life insurance is an example.
Correct.
I love the make money niche because there are heaps of products and services that you can sell or create that gives ongoing revenue because businesses want to keep going. They will keep paying to keep their businesses alive.
What type?
So as an example, do you have a website? You have a website? Of
course I do.
Right. And your website is hosted.
Of course.
Correct? And so how much are you paying for your hosting, can I ask? Is
well,
it $20, $30, something like that?
No, because it's more like an inclusive package.
Okay.
I work with the company.
So most people who pay for hosting is $20 or $30 a month to keep their website alive. Now the trick to residual income is sell something where they have to keep paying every single month, otherwise they lose something of value. So if you stop paying for your hosting, you lose your $5,000 website.
Correct.
Right? So people keep paying every month, even if their website isn't making them any money.
Well, because they don't want to lose it. They spend a lot of time and energy building it up, creating it.
Exactly. So they'll keep paying for their $20 hosting bill, right? Same with autoresponders. People will keep paying every month to keep their database alive.
Right.
Domain names. They keep paying every year to keep their domain name. If they stop paying, they lose their name, they lose their brand, and their website goes down. So there are lots of examples like that where you have to keep paying every month or every year, otherwise you lose something of value. That's what I believe is a better example of real residual income.
Okay, so now you've mentioned that you've had tens of thousands of clients that you've helped. And you've given those two examples. Now, of course, people think of a website hosting as, well, how many website hosting companies can there be? So can you give us a few examples of the types of clients that you've had? Like, what are their businesses that they've succeeded at?
Sure. So I work with people with all sorts of businesses and all sorts of niches. Anything from business coaches, life coaches, like any kind of coach. I work with speakers, trainers, authors. We've helped hundreds of people become #1 bestsellers. Also, we work with brick and mortar businesses or people who offer a service. Psychics.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. Like,
interesting.
We
so wait,
help
how do
people
they have
we help
residual
people
income for being a psychic?
$400,000 a month coming in every month from telephone calls and things like that. So because people want to keep calling back to get answers for their life.
So they're almost like junkies.
Well,
if they're calling that much.
It's more that it's like going to church. People go to church every week because they want answers or support or whatever. Same if people go to a psychic, they go because they want answers or what do I do with my life?
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that as a residual income.
Well, it's it's not residual in that they're paying monthly, but they get repeat customers. So,
Right.
but they do make a lot of money doing that. So there are lots of industries that can make a lot of money. Apps are huge. People are playing the games like Candy Crush is a perfect example if you've ever played it. People will pay to get to the next level, or they will share the app with their friends. So the app either goes viral or the app makes money. So the app makes money both ways. But it's a very clever business model, because if you can't get past a level, you want to keep upgrading and help.
Yeah,
get to
everybody
the next
wants to
level.
know is there a business that they could easily do? Because it always sounds like it's too good to be true. It's something somebody else is doing. It's something that they can do also.
Yeah.
And of course, there's all the people who are afraid of sales. Now, some fundamental tips that we were thinking of. If somebody is not currently a business owner, and of course there's lots of business owners who've tried something and just didn't succeed at it for whatever their reasons are.
Yes.
What are some tips that you could help somebody with when you start someone off? If they come to you, they want to be a new client, what is it that you usually say to them?
Sure. So the first thing I would say to somebody is consider your lifestyle before you even start your business. When I started my business, I didn't consider my lifestyle, and I generated millions of dollars online selling coaching and services, done for you type products and services. So I was doing marketing for companies, and it absolutely killed my life. I had no time for anything. I was doing 15-hour days of coaching, webinars nearly every night, seminars on the weekend. I would lose my voice all the time.
Oh.
And even though I had because if you can imagine talking for 15 hours a
that
day,
must-
I kept losing my voice, and there was no way to recover. And so even though I loved what I did and I had the freedom to travel anywhere in the world and still run my business, I didn't consider the lifestyle of fulfilling on the product I was selling. And so therefore, I could be in a hotel in Bali but never get to leave the hotel because I'm stuck on coaching calls. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
So
'Cause what's the point?
Exactly. So consider your lifestyle to begin with. So be very, very clear about how much money you want to create, the lifestyle you want, how much you want to travel, how many days of the week you want to be spending in your business, and then consider who would be your perfect customer. Because a lot of people are working with people they don't really want to work with, and
Do they have to fire their clients?
Exactly. And so a business is so much more fun when you have awesome customers. And the great thing about marketing is you can target anyone you want, because the internet you can reach anyone now. So if you want to work with a specific type of person, target them straight away from the very beginning. Don't work your way up through bad clients. It's too painful, right? And then from there, start developing or selling existing products. So you could promote affiliate products. These are other people's products that you can be a referral partner to and make a commission.
Right.
So
it's affiliate marketing.
affiliate
correct?
marketing, yes. And so the great thing about affiliate marketing is, one, it teaches you how to promote.
Right.
Right. Two, it can generate cash flow immediately. Three, you start building a credibility in your niche because you're starting to promote products in that niche. So people go, Vivian's interested in health now, and so she's selling all health products. And so you start, developing a credibility, and then also as well, you can actually start building a database of people who will be ready to buy your products. Now, another great way to cash flow your business for people who are just starting out is you can pre-sell your products. So I launched a product in the middle of last year, and I pre-sold the product. And I limited it to only 30 people that could get the beta testing price. It was a $2,000 beta testing price point because it was going to be more expensive after I launched. And I told these people, hey guys, we're developing this product. It's going to be brand new. No one's ever going to, get this price again. And I sold 30 of them in the first day.
So then who did you sell it to? You had an existing database then.
So I had an existing database from running webinars and things like that, but I talked it up for a few months, and then on the day of my pre-launch, I sold 30 of them, which meant that I generated $60,000 in revenue before I had to spend really much money at all into the development of the product. Now, by pre-selling a product, it's great because what that does is it proves that the market actually wants it.
Now,
right?
what happens
and
if...
two, it gave me cash flow to
actually
build it.
develop it.
To develop it, yeah. And a lot of people, they don't even test the market before they go develop products. And then they find out they might spend 2 years writing an ebook to find out that nobody wants to read the ebook.
But if you've pre-sold it, what
Yes.
would you do if it didn't do well? I mean, You just said you're using it to test the market. Now,
Yes.
if it doesn't test well, you're not going to give refunds, right?
Oh yeah, you would.
So you would give
yeah,
refunds.
so I've done it before where I pre-tested and I pre-launched and I sold 10 or 15 people into a program for about $1,500 each. And I realized that there just wasn't enough interest in this particular product. So what I did was I gave the people back their money if they wanted their money back, or I said you can credit that credit that $1,500 to something else from us, or this other thing that we're building on the side. And most people will credit it.
I see.
Right.
Now, do you have a staff supporting you?
Yeah, so I like to keep my overheads really low. Okay, so I have a high cash flow business, low overheads.
Okay, so is it just you, myself, and I?
No. I have about 5 staff, and most of them are from the Philippines. I have one.
Are you
or two in the US.
outsourced?
Yep, but they're full time. So what you can do if you want to find some good people, you can go to places like Upwork.com, and you can find people who are trained in certain specific areas. And I guarantee you, if you want to create a multi-million-dollar business, you need to get other people to help you with some things, even if it's with support emails, maybe some graphic design for your social media, things like that, right? So you need to start developing a team of people to help you do the time-consuming things.
Now, people get very leery of, for example, not saying it's bad, this is my question, of hiring the outsource from the Philippines. How do you feel about it? And obviously, how long have you been doing that? I mean, is it trustworthy? How do you know you're not going to give them money and that, because obviously you're not there, supervising.
Yeah, so what you can do is, I use a software called Hubstaff, and what that does
Now,
is
is that HUBSTAFF?
HUB stuff, yep.
Okay.
.com, and what they do, I should be giving affiliate links.
I
out
know,
here.
right? Are you getting referral fees for this?
Well, I would. You're just going to put our affiliate link at the bottom. But basically, Hubstaff will take snapshots of their screen while they're doing the work.
Oh.
And so I might say to the person, hey, I only want you to do 10 hours work, or this is the task. It can actually record their screen, and I can say, I'm going to pay you $5 an hour or $10 an hour, whatever
Really?
it is. And so what I can do is I can check up and make sure they're not browsing Facebook or something like that instead of doing their job.
Now, do you find yourself spending a lot of time babysitting, if you will, to make sure that's the case, that they're really working?
No, I've got a really awesome team. I train them really well. So I think the trick to outsourcing is your leadership. So how you train your staff, giving them enough to do. What you can do is you can put them on a flat rate. So you can say, I'll pay you $100 a week, and you have to do all of these tasks within that week, or it's full time. Whatever I need you to do, you do it. And some people like that because they know they're going to get the consistency. Other people want to be on the hourly rate, and then they might be a few $100s a week, depending on what they're doing. But yeah, in general, if you can give them really clear instructions, then you can really automate a lot of the manual things in your business and get all of your time back.
So how did you initially hire them? You said Hubstaff helps you monitor them.
Yeah.
How did you initially acquire these staff in the Philippines?
Sure. So places like Upwork, Upwork.com, you can go there and you can look for all sorts of different people who do different tasks. So whether it's copywriting or graphic design or web development, and I have gone through a few. There are a couple of people I tried out, and it just wasn't the right match. And so I might spend $50 on them and find, I don't like working with this person, and I'll just end the contract with them, and I'll find another one. But usually I find the Filipinos are great because they have really good English, and they're really trustworthy, and they're very, very sweet people, very kind people. So I do really like working with the Filipinos. Not to say that other countries aren't good either, but I just prefer my team in the Philippines. They're really great.
Do you pay them, for example, through PayPal? How would you pay them?
Yeah, I pay them through PayPal.
Oh, okay, you do.
Yep, and through Upwork as well. They can deduct from your credit card when the contract's complete. So it's all through the system.
And do they work from home, or is there in some kind of an office space?
I actually pay for my team to have an office space in the Philippines so that they have somewhere to go, and then it's consistent internet, and I don't have to rely on them having to pay for
Does that cost more then, since you're providing?
Yeah, not much though. It's only, I think, $500 a month to have an office and internet and everything.
Have you ever gone there in person, or this has been entirely
they set it up
through
for
trust?
me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is all through Upwork?
Well, the team. So once I build the team, and then they find an office, and they go, well, these are going to be the costs.
Do you have like a team leader?
Yes, I do.
I see.
Yeah.
So then you set up to find the team leader, and then that team leader then find the additional staff to create that staff of 5?
I found the other staff, but I have got my team leader to look for certain members before, and they've helped me find 1 or 2 people that are close by that they know that we can trust with things. Because sometimes when you've got an online business, you've got to give them passwords and things to log in. So you need to find trustworthy people.
So how do you know somebody you trust if you've never even met them?
Well, with a lot of things that you do online, you can give them limited access, or you can have them be supervised while they're doing certain tasks. But in the end, you can always reset your passwords. So if they're getting access to, your web hosting or something like that, you have control of your email account. So you can at any time reset your password, and they don't have access to your email account. So as long as you have control and they can't access your emails, you can pretty much always get control back.
Now you were saying, and of course we know this, I've always loved the expression, I don't care what you do as your occupation. You could be an attorney. It doesn't matter. But if you're not selling, even if you're a CPA, you're just have an expensive degree of paper on the wall, time in college, and you don't have a business. You ultimately need to sell something. Do you have any great tips to share with us on selling?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I think one of the sad things about a lot of university degrees and everything now is people are getting highly qualified at their profession, but they're never taught about business. They're never taught about automating lead generation. They're never taught about how to sell. They're never taught, there's some really fundamental things for how to get customers. And so a lot of people don't end up actually doing well in their career. They change careers because it's just too hard to do everything they have to do and run a business.
Right.
And so one of the most valuable things that I ever learned in the beginning of my career in, business is to learn how to sell. And I've run over 200 of my own workshop seminars around the world, and a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I don't want to sell. I don't want to post in Facebook. I don't want to do this." Oh my goodness, the resistance
might as well say,
to it.
I don't want to make money. Might as well say that.
It's like
same
you want to be broke. but
same thing.
Yeah, a little bit. And so, but I think people have an idea that selling is a bad thing. Selling is only uncomfortable if you're trying to push something on somebody that they don't actually want. So if I'm trying to sell you a windsurfing board and you're like, I don't want a windsurfing board, and you
know nothing about windsurfing.
I don't know anything about, then it's not a market match, right? So it doesn't work. But a trick to selling is to really discover what they want. Some of the most profitable sales I've made are no's as well. It's like, I don't want to work with you because I can't help you with this thing, but I can recommend you over here. So I have some selling questions that I usually ask, which really help me understand my customers' needs and wants and fears and things like that. It really help them to move through the process to want to actually buy from you. And by going through this process, you can make a sale of almost anything in 5 to 10 minutes. It's actually pretty amazing.
Oh, can you tease us a little bit about what are some of these juicy questions?
Okay, so you always want to ask, well, you need to be talking with the decision maker. A lot of people do a whole sales pitch and they're trying to pitch their thing to somebody and they don't even know that person is the one that's going to be spending
you find
the money.
that out first.
Well, you would think so, but a lot of people don't. They don't actually.
Are they practicing?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Don't practice on the receptionist or.
Exactly. So a great question to ask is, Vivian, assuming that we're going to work together, are you the decision maker when it comes to finances or spending money?
Yes, I am, Allison.
You are. Now, what's interesting is when you say yes, you feel really good and empowered to spend money, right? If you say no, actually, I've got to go speak to my partner, right? Then I can say, okay, that's great. Is there a time where you and your partner can come back and we'll do a meeting together? And then you start the meeting again with the two of them. That way, you're not going to waste time with a non-decision maker. Okay, so always ask that question early on. And then once you're in the room with the decision maker, then you can not tease them, but get them excited a little bit about what you could do for them. And I always like to give a benefit of working with me, one that I think that most people would want to say yes to. So Vivian, would you be curious about how you could generate more free leads in your business and automate your sales?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely yes.
Love to hear about
Now,
that.
most businesses will say yes to that.
Of course they would.
So that's it. You want to get them to say yes as many times as possible.
Yes.
So I've got you to say yes, and you're like, you smiled, right? You're like, yes.
So far twice.
So far twice, which is great. So then I'll go, Vivian, so what is it that you want in your business? So what do you want? And you can ask this in many different ways. You can say, what would you like to achieve in your business? But essentially the question is, what do you want?
What do we want? We want more quality customers who could pay easily and on time.
Great, perfect. And so then the next question would be, and now this is where you have to start listening to the customer. You have to use their keywords. This creates rapport with them, and it also shows that you listen. So if I said, great, Vivian, so when you have more quality, good paying customers, what will having that do for you?
So increasing our revenue helps us to grow our staff, our business, and hopefully give myself as the business owner more time to go on vacations and spend leisure time or preferably time with my family.
Perfect. Okay, so now what I could do, and this is in the sales process, right? So now I could actually go deeper into that. I can get you more excited about what you want. And I could ask that question again. I could say, Vivian, when you've got more high paying customers and more time with your family, what would having that give you?
Now this
so this is like, I'm getting you more into what it is that you really want, because in the end, most people say they want more money, but it's actually so that they get more time with the people that they love, so that they
have more freedom,
so that they get more fulfilled, or they have contribution, or they
hopefully
get better
time
relationships.
with
Or, exactly. So really what they really want is better relationships with their kids.
Right, that's right. Hopefully what it boils down to.
Exactly.
If they're good parents.
Or something like that, right? So what's interesting is when you get to what they really want, and it's usually a core need like love, fulfillment, contribution, something like that, then you go, great. If I can, okay, so now I know what you really want. And then what I need to do is I need to take you into a little bit of pain. So I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to ask you a very specific question. What is it like for you now?
It's just spending too much time. We spin our wheels, and we're just not getting to the clients as quickly as we'd like to, or as many of them.
Okay, great. So I'm actually hearing in that there's maybe a little bit of frustration with spinning wheels and not getting where you want to be as quickly as possible, right?
Sure.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I could take you into more pain, but I'm not going to because we're on TV. But
thank you for that.
But basically, it's like if you can find out where they're at now, usually people will tell you all their problems. They'll go, oh,
and there's another hour on the phone.
I've spent all this money on advertising and it's not working, or I spent $100,000 on a website, or I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm in debt and I can't get out of it. People will come up with all sorts of things, and they really tell you where they're at. And so then the next question would be, well, how urgent is it to get out of this situation? Like, how urgent is it for you to get out of spinning your wheels and actually getting real results online?
We're very grateful that you made it here all the way from Sydney, and I am really looking forward to the next time you can make it back to our station. Thank you so much, Allison. It's been really a pleasure having you. And this, I think, is a great way for the entrepreneurially minded, or those who are ready to stop struggling with money and realize that they've got to make life better for themselves, their families, and stop any potential crisis, because let's face it, success is really not defined by money, but money brings you freedom of choice and relief from financial pressure. So take a look at financial betterment in your life by looking at being an entrepreneur. For all the entrepreneur people, these are some really great tips that we just enjoyed. Till next time on Stop My Crisis.